And what it is a huge surge of heavy energy. Just a few minutes ago, under 10 minutes ago, at the most 15 minutes ago, a surge of heavy energy, a surge of negative energy. It came in like a wave. It did. Came crashing in like a wave. If you could picture a spiritual wave, this is a spiritual wave of negative energy literally come in and made landfall. Made landfall. Did you feel it? It would have happened around 10 minutes ago, maybe 15 minutes ago. And it was not a good energy. If you are receptive, if you have your spiritual eyes open, if you're in tune with the spiritual realm, negative energy has came crashing in just like that. It's been a few minutes ago. It was a heavy energy. It was not a pleasant energy, and it wasn't oppressing energy. It was super negative energy. It was a dark energy. Very. Let me describe what it felt like come crashing in. Heavy, dark. It was negative. It had hopelessness in it. It had despair in it. It had the hopelessness, despair. It had like just throw your hands up in the air, just give up energy in it. It had surrender energy in it, just don't fight. There's no use in standing up. It had this energy in it. It was an oppressive energy. It was a negative energy. It was a depressing energy. It was a sad energy. It was a sorrowful energy. It was a hopelessness energy. It was an energy wave. It was a massive energy wave that came in and made landfall in the spiritual realm. If you felt it, you're not alone. Okay, you are not alone. Hello there, hungry, motivated. It happened a few minutes ago. It just hit out of nowhere, like just like that is how it hit, just out of nowhere. And you can expect more of these waves, these energy waves. Let's just call them. You can expect more of these oppressing, these negative energy waves to come crashing in because there is movement occurring. And it's great big, it's like emotional like waves, emotional tsunamis, a tsunami of emotions, and they're not good. This is like crashing in and tsunamis. This is how I like that, just like that, come crashing in. Did you feel it? And hello, Denise, Christian, and yeah. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Hello, Carol, honey. You can expect more of this. You can expect a lot more activity from the spiritual realm. You know you can. And I think we did a video, oh, it was probably a week or so ago, the summer of hate. Instead of the summer of love, the summer of hate. We did a video like that. I think that's a video that got us in trouble too, got me in trouble. If you're tuned into the spiritual realm and you start feeling things and you start speaking about them and you find out other people are feeling the same thing, and then they start speaking about them and other people realize, well, they're not the only ones, and they start speaking about them, then the awareness rises to the surface. People become more aware, they become more awake, and they're able to connect the dots with real world events. We've all felt something coming. You felt something heavy coming, something, and it's literally been coming in waves. So this is like a big tsunami wave come crashing down. You can expect more, and you know you can expect more. You better have your life jackets on, is all I've got to say. Your life jackets. Jesus is your life jacket. That's your life jacket. Jesus, the Holy Spirit, God, it's the love on the inside of you, your full armor. That is your life jacket. During the period of time that you're going to find yourself on the oceans of life, and those oceans are going to get stormy. It's not just one ocean, it's lots of oceans that are getting stormy. Oceans are full of emotion. Oceans are full of feelings, very watery, very deep feelings that are going to sometimes you may feel like you're drowning in your emotions, because it's going to bring all these emotions up to the surface too. It's just literally because a lot of people got a lot of stuff packed down on the inside of them. They do a lot of emotions that they had to suppress for the past few years or so, and maybe even longer for some. And those are literally, they're rising to the surface. They are, and it does not help that there's other great big tidal waves, like great big tsunamis of emotional distress that they are. It's meant to bring emotional distress. Emotional distress coming crashing in like that. Gina, you're being negative. No, I'm being truthful. I am being truthful. And if you don't like to hear about the spiritual realm, you can just find another video. Go do a dancing video. Okay? Just do a dancing video. No, we've got to wake up to the times that we're living in. This is not normal. This is way beyond the normal. It's way beyond the normalcy of the life that we used to live. Everything has changed now, in case you have not noticed. Or if you'd like to be in denial, then you go ahead and be in denial, but everything has changed. And there are some people who are in denial. They'll say, no, it's changed for the better. Everything's great. It's great. So it's just wonderful. Okay, so be it for you. There's a lot of people that are realizing it's not so wonderful. Okay, it's not. Something is happening. Who was it that ran on change? Great change is coming. Change. And he meant it. He meant it. He meant it, and he followed through with everything he said. Change. He could still be calling the shots too, according to some. Yeah. Did you feel it? It's now 7:42. Probably happened around 15-20 minutes ago. A great big energy wave of, it's an emotional, it was a wave in the spiritual realm of hopelessness. It had hopelessness in it, despair in it, sorrow in it, sadness in it. It was very unsettling, and it's just like poof. I was sitting there thinking, my gosh, what is that just hit? I was just sitting down in the recliner. I had just sat down for the day. Sit down, and I thought, I'm just going to relax. No, there comes a big energy wave. Poof, like that, a big old tidal wave, big old tsunami. And, oh, I felt it. I felt the emotions that were with it. And I've said, you got to be kidding. No, that, whether you believe it or not, if you can visualize, if you can take the real world, water in the real world, oceans in the real world, tsunamis in the real world, the rain, the thunderstorms, the hurricanes, the tidal waves, if you can literally take those real world things and tie it into the spiritual realm, the same thing happens in the spiritual realm, except it's a visual in the physical realm like that. Your dog started barking for no reason. Could you please tell us when that happened? Leon's wife. When did it happen? Hello, Applebrooks, honey. We're 70% HTO. We don't have to take it, though. We can send the negative energy packing. That's why I got on here. That's right. No, you're not staying in me, negative energy. You're getting out of me. Right there. You are going to have to put your life jackets on. You want to stay afloat. We're living in times, and they're going to get very hard. You want to stay afloat. You want to keep your life jacket on. You can keep the full armor of God on. Keep your spiritual life jacket on. You want to stay afloat in these stormy seas of life, because they're going to get very, very stormy. And some people are already experiencing the stormy seas of life and have been for a while. So they know what it's like, and they know they have to stay afloat. They may feel like they're drowning in their emotions, drowning in the turmoil from the physical storms, the physical events that are happening, torrential rainfall, spiritual torrential rainfall, spiritual tidal waves, spiritual tsunamis, spiritual hurricanes, spiritual tornadoes, spiritual earthquakes, you name it. The key is to survive. You've got to survive. You got to be able to be anchored. You got to be able to have your life jacket on. You don't want to drown. You don't want to go under. You don't want the wind to blow you. You want to be anchored. Even though the wind and the rain and all the storms beat up against you, you're still there and you don't fall down. You want to be ready. You want to be able to stand. It's like survival. Survival is what is spiritual survival. You get your life jacket on. And I'm serious. I'm very, very serious. You better have your spiritual life jackets on, because this is a watery, packed full of all types of emotions. And it's going to create all types of emotions in people all around the world spiritually. And it's going to get them rounded up. They're going to have emotions they never thought they had. They never thought that they would allow out to the surface. Some people are going to be boiling inside of them. Boiling. Spiritually boiling. Boiling is like, they're going to be like the volcanoes, like the hot lava is literally going to come to the surface out of some people, and they're just going to go poof. They're going to explode, and that's the truth. They're going to explode, and you better be ready. And I don't like to point, but you better be ready. It's not like no Old Faithful guys or Old Faithful erupts ever so often. No, this is going to be worse than Old Faithful. Okay? It's going to be worse than that. These emotions these very watery emotions of people are going to come to the surface. There is a switch that is literally going to flip. It's like, oh. And they're going to look around. And that'll be it. That will be it. That'll be it for them. And then all HE double hockey sticks is going to break loose. You better have your fire extinguisher ready, your spiritual fire extinguisher ready to put out the fires from the people who literally explode, who blow up. You better have your spiritual whatever I just said, whatever it was, I can't even, your fire extinguisher, you do not want that to get on you. You do not want that fire to spread to you. You don't. I'm just saying, a spiritual fire. You don't want it. You don't want to get caught up in it. You don't want to get caught up in the hurricane. You don't want your boat to sink. Okay, you do not want your boat to sink. You don't want these other ships on this stormy sea alive, firing at your ship that you're on, putting holes in it. You want your ship to be impenetrable. You want it to be unsinkable. You want to be battle hardened. If you can envision that, if you can envision your ship, you and your ship on these stormy seas of life, battle hardened, they cannot penetrate it, then that's what you need to do. They cannot penetrate it. You do not want to have holes put in your ship where you sink. You sink. It's like, they sunk my battleship. Well, you don't want to be that person and say they sunk my battleship. No. No, you want to stay afloat. That's why you're going to have your life jacket on too. You're going to have your life jacket on. You're going to have a what's that other boats that you a lifeboat. You want to have a lifeboat. You want to have a spiritual lifeboat that you can get into along with your life jacket. And Jesus is that spiritual lifeboat. The Holy Spirit, God is the Holy Spirit. That's the lifeboat. Now, some people say, Gina, that's why you lose people, because you talk about God, you talk about Jesus, you talk about the Holy Spirit, you just talk. So be it. So be it. Go find another channel. This channel is not for you. If you don't like the spiritual side of Gina, who gets fired up, you just go find another channel right now. But you're going to need a lifeboat. You're going to need a life jacket. You're going to need a fire extinguisher. You're going to have your full armor of God. You're going to need a force field to block those fiery arrows that are being fired at you. You're going to need it. You are going to need it. You don't want your physical vessel destroyed. You don't. You want to be able to stand up against it. And if you have to fight back, you want to have the ability, you want to have the capability, you want to have the discernment, the spiritual discernment, to the know-how in order to stand up and fight back in the spiritual realm. That's what you're going to want to know how to do. How are you going to fight back spiritually? You're going to fight back spiritually with the Word of God. You're going to fight back spiritually with the faith that is within you. You're going to fight back spiritually with the army of God. You're going to fight back spiritually with the angels, because you're not going to be fighting alone. We're all going to be fighting with you. Those who are in the spiritual realm, those who belong to God, we are the army of light. And the army of darkness knows that. That's why you are finding yourself in battles along life's way. That's why you've been in these battles that you've been in, because you're part of the army of light. And the army of darkness doesn't like your light. You are a threat to the army of darkness. They don't want your light. They don't want my light. They're trying to silence all of us. They want to silence us if they could. They want to muzzle you, put a muzzle on your face. You ever see that thing? I don't know who that person was. I never even watched it. It was this guy who had, it was an old movie. They put a thing around his head, a metal cage or something. I don't know what it was, but I thought, that's horrific. Well, that's what they want to do to you. And I'm not going to talk about it. Go look at the video from last night. There was a video I did last night. I got something to say, I said. I got something to say. And it was on that very day, May 30th, I wanted to see, what did I write in my notes on May the 30th, on any year of May the 30th, because I have words that flow in from the spiritual realm. And I wrote some words, and I read them. It's a great silencing. The great silencing is coming. The great silencing is coming. We are living in a third world country. We're on the brink of becoming totally third world. Don't you get it? You look around and you see what's happening in the third world countries. You see the corruption. You see all the crime and everything. You see what happens in third world countries. United States of America is becoming a third world country. That is the direction in which we are headed. And if you don't like it, I was told that a few years ago, Gina, get out of the United States of America while you can, because it's going to go down. It's going to go down, Gina, get out of it. If you don't like it, that's just too bad. Go research what happens in third world countries. Look at the corruption that happens in those countries. They got a history to them. The people become oppressed. If you speak up, you become eliminated in some instances. They take you out. They will take you out. So you're going to have to come to the decision within yourself. Are you going to stand? If you're going to have one chance to stand in your life, sometimes you'll have 2 or 3 chances. You're going to have something that you're going to stand for in your life, or you're going to fall for everything. You want to be a doormat? Do you want to be a doormat? You want to speak your piece? You speak your piece. That way, when you leave this world, you'll say, well, I spoke my piece, and I don't have any regrets, because I stood up I stood for what I spoke about. I stood for whatever. You stood for something that meant something to you. You stood for the truth. You didn't stand for the lie. You didn't, I don't hear nothing. I don't see no evil, hear no evil. No, it's out there. There's no more see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. No, the evil is all around the whole entire world. It's not in the manifestation that it's going to be. It is slowly manifesting. And when it gets fully manifested, you're going to see the face of evil. You may say, Gina, I just know it's going to get better. Oh, it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. I'm going to agree with you. Oh, it's going to get a lot better, but it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets a lot better. And you've got to be ready for it. That's what I'm talking about. You better have your fire extinguisher. You better have your life jacket on. You better have the full armor of God on. You better have your boat. Your boat better be very secure, because you don't want your boat to sink. And if your boat starts going down and you got your life jacket on, you better have your lifeboat on too. You better have your lifeboat on. You better have some faith. You better get yourself grounded. Get yourself grounded on the inside, grounded in the love of God right here. Get yourself grounded. We're going into, there's already fragments. There's already little segments. There's already little hints of the third world popping up in the United States of America. There's hints of it already happened. Open your eyes. Take your glasses off. Open your eyes and ask, say, would you please show me, and mean it from your heart. Open my eyes so I can see what's happening. I want to see what's happening. Open my eyes, open my heart. If I'm being blinded, if I'm being blindsided, what are these people talking about? I want to see what they're seeing. I want to know what they're talking about because I don't see nothing. Well, you're going to have to pop that bubble. You're going to have to pop that bubble. Let me take this. I got a pencil and I'll pop your bubble for you. And if this pencil's not sharp enough, I'm going to sharpen. I'm going to pop your balloon. I'm going to pop your bubble. I'm going to pop your bubble so you can see. If you truly do want to see, we're going to pop your bubble. You're going to realize what's happening. It's not just here. It's happening all over the world. All over the world. It's like the frog in the pot doesn't know that it's boiling to death. It doesn't. It's being boiled to death. The frog in the pot. I guess that's how it goes. Yeah, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and harder. Hello. Yes. Slowly subtle and sly, like a serpent. Sly and sneaky. It's like that. What is the title of this video? Did you feel the energy wave come in? It was a very oppressive energy. It was a sad energy. It was a sad energy. It was a sad energy wave. It was an oppressive energy wave. It was an energy wave that was it was full of hopelessness and stuff. It came crashing in like a big tsunami. Massive tsunami. I felt it and I thought, where on earth? It hit me all of a sudden. As soon as I sat down, there it came. I hadn't even been sitting down for like 3 minutes. Poof. And I got up and I thought, where did you come from? And I said, no, see, I'm not going to do that. And it made me mad when it came crashing in. It did. I thought, no, I'm going to get on here. I'm going to open my mouth. Gina, you going to open your mouth? You hear me opening my mouth? Do you hear me opening my mouth? Because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm opening my mouth. Hello, Debbie. The United States is becoming a third world country, and it was prophesied to become a third world country. He's leveling the playing field. Sorry about that. He said he was going to level the playing field. He said it so many times. In order for what? In order to bring about the new world order. The new world order. And he said, mark my words, there will be a new world order. And in order for there to be a new world order, you got to have certain events to start taking place. You got to really, you got to hammer down. You got to take it with rule them with an iron fist. The iron curtains. Well, the one iron curtain came down. It did. It came down. No, you all, this is the leveling the playing field. United States is going to become a third world country. You're not going to have the haves and the have-nots. They're going to literally level all the countries. You heard Elon Musk. We're going to have a universal basic income. We're going to have a universal basic income. You're going to have it. Why do you need it? Because you're going to have some useless people, some useless eaters. Remember that too? Useless eaters. They told you their whole plan. You're going to be the old humans. Unless you want to be one of the new humans, you're going to be an augmented human. You can be an augmented human. You can. You can do it. You can do it. But there's going to be a lot of you saying, no, I'm gonna remain who I am. Yeah, you're going to pay the price too. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to be willing to pay the price to stay the old human that you are, because there is a price to pay. There is a price to pay when you take a stand, and you may not be ready for it, but you may be at this point that says, so be it. So then that brings me to the scripture. That brings me to a prophecy. If you are to die by the sword you will die. If anyone is to go into captivity he will go. This calls for patient endurance on the part of the saints. That's what it said. That's exactly what it said. Go read it for yourself. There'll be a time of distress unequaled from the beginning of the world and never to be equaled again. And if those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. Except for the sake of the elect, those days would be shortened. But then before that happens, there is a series of events that must take place. And it says so right there. Read it in Matthew 24. Read it from the beginning of the book of on the chapter 24. Read it to the end of the chapter 24. You'll see that there is a series of events that has to take place before that happens. Before you get taken out of here. You say, well, it ain't going to happen. You go read it for yourself. And that's wishful thinking. And you may not agree with me. That's fine. But there's going to be a time of distress. There's going to be a great, great, great tribulation. Now, people go through a lot of tribulations in their life, in their own personal lives. But this is supposed to be really bad. And then if you go to the big prophetic book of Revelation, they're going to have the mark of the beast. And anyone who refuses to take that mark, anyone who refuses to worship that beast, you're going to be put to death. You're going to be put to death, they said. Gina, that's all just fear, gloom, and doom. Well, I'm just telling you that is a prophetical book. Somebody wrote that book, and it seems to me that book, some of these books that people have wrote, if you say, well, they're all written by man, well, they're coming to fruition. How about that? It doesn't matter who they're written by right now. It does not, because a lot of the things that have been written are coming into fruition. Just think of it as their playbook. Okay, there's prophecies that is going to play out no matter how you're going to look at it. What they say, mother-in-law against father, daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. A man's own enemies will be the members of their own family. Yes, you got to stay strong. You got to realize what time you're living in. What time you're living in. You know what time you're living in. You're living in the end times. You're living in the end times. Gina, what has gotten into you? If it's not in me, it can't come out of me. How many times do I got to tell you? If it's not inside of me, it's not going to come out of me. I can't bring something out of me that's not inside of me. I can't. And especially if it just comes out, poof, it's in me. It's deeply ingrained within me. No. The world has changed. There is a old ancient spirit that is rising. That is literally rising, getting ready to take its seat on the throne of this earth. It's an ancient energy. And this ancient energy is not alone. This ancient beast is not alone. It's got its army. And it doesn't like the army of light. It doesn't like God's army. It doesn't like God's army. You're their foe. Okay? You're their foe. We're living in when right is wrong and wrong is right. Right is wrong and wrong is right. You open your mouth, you're going to get yourself in trouble. It all depends on what you open your mouth about, because if you speak things that once used to be acceptable, but now they're non-acceptable, then that's when you get yourself in trouble. But if you speak about things that are totally inappropriate, which are now acceptable, well, you're not going to get yourself in trouble in most cases. The unspeakable becomes the speakable, and the speakable becomes the unspeakable. It's flipped. It's inverted. Everything's been inverted. The world's been turned upside down. Upside down and soon inside out. To where you see it all. You will see every single bit of it. Okay, that's it. That's it. The energy coming in. And you better be ready. You're going to have your fire extinguisher. You're going to have your life jacket on. You better have your lifeboat. People's emotions are going to go to the surface just like Gina's. Why you talk to yourself? Why you talk about yourself, Gina, in the first person? Because I want to. And if I want to talk about myself in the second person and third person, I'm going to talk about myself in that. I am. It's going to have whatever comes out of my mouth is how I'm going to talk about myself. I'm not alone. I'm not. This body is temporary. It's so temporary. I'm a spirit. I'm a soul in this human body, this flesh right here. Right here. This flesh is corruptible. It is. But there's the real me on the inside, my spirit, my soul. That's incorruptible. It's incorruptible. And when my time on earth is done, I'm going back to where I came from, like a lot of other people. This body, this flesh, this human body, and we're very appreciative of our human experience while on this earth. We are. We're very appreciative of it. But we know that the time is coming and the time is now. Marvin K. Mooney, will you please leave now? Marvin K. Mooney, will you please leave now. I said go, and go I meant. So Marvin K, whatever. Gina, why did you throw Dr. Seuss in there? Because it popped into my head just like that. Maybe it has something to do with all that's going on. It might. It might. No. History is repeating itself. There's going to be a cleansing. There's going to be a cleansing. Just like it was times before. How the earth was harvested. It's like that Jupiter movie. I think they want to harvest the earth. To harvest the earth. That's what they wanted to do. Just harvest the earth. Yeah. Well, you're living in lucky times. If you want to live in such a times, today is your lucky day. This era on earth is your lucky era in history, the lucky period of time in history. Perhaps you've been coming back here many lifetimes. You know, there's no such thing as reincarnation. Well, there is a theory that there is a reincarnation. If your soul never dies, I am on my way to that land so fair where the soul of man never dies. People who have near-death experiences, they can see their body, the physical body laying there, and their spirit is hovering over there. I'm going to go, y'all. It's getting hot up here. I'm making myself hot. Okay, there is an energy there. You can just do what you want. Do what you want. Let your conscience be your guide. Let your conscience be your guide. Think of Pinocchio with Jiminy the Cricket, one on one side and the devil on the other. Is that who it was? The devil was whispering things in Pinocchio's ear, and he was listening. And Jiminy Cricket was whispering things in his other ear. And what happened to Pinocchio's nose? And then he got caught. He got tied up with the Emperor of the Night. Him and all the other children got caught up in the Emperor of the Night. They gave him alcohol. They gave him drugs. They gave him games. They partied. And Pinocchio lost himself while doing so. And he somehow had some kind of remembrance of what life used to be like. And he was brought back. That was good. He got saved, even though his nose got a little bit long. He realized he had a wake-up call. The Emperor of the Night. Had those children doing all kinds of stuff. They didn't need their parents or nothing. That's what they said. It was time to party. Get on the party boat. Okay, I'm going to go. And I never did like that cartoon at all. I just want to say that. I like the original Pinocchio, but I did not like the Emperor of the Night. It was very dark and gloomy, very dark and evil. I'm going to go. With that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. You probably won't see me back on here tonight because this is probably going to take a lot of energy out of me, and I'm going to need to recoup. I am. I've been going nonstop all day long since 8:30 this morning. So yeah, this is my evening video, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you want to unsubscribe, be my guest. Be our guest, be our guest, put our magic to the test. Isn't that what he says? Be our guest, put our magic to the test. Oh my gosh, Beauty and the Beast, Beauty and the Beast. And what saved the Beast? He had to have love, L-O-V-E. Love, L-O-V-E. He had to see somebody through the eyes of love, or Belle had to do something. It came down to L-O-V-E right there. That broke the spell. It broke the spell, and his kingdom was restored. Restored. And not just him got saved. Everybody else got saved. They all got saved. They all returned to their normal selves. The spell was broke, just like that. I'm going to go. Thank you, moderators. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.